After dying in an accident, a young married couple is trapped inside their home as ghosts and must try to rid the house of the new human inhabitants. After Tim Burton took the world by storm with his surprise 1985 hit Pee-wee's Big Adventure, he leaned into the weird gothic comedy that is now synonymous with his name and made Beetlejuice, a quirky little comedy about the afterlife. As a kid, I watched this movie a lot, and I loved all the weird ghostly characters and monsters. I loved the character Beetlejuice and his over-the-top personality and antics. Now, I hadn't seen the movie in well over a decade, and watching this time I realized a couple of things. The movie, while charming, wasn't quite as charming as I remembered it being, and Beetlejuice was in the movie a lot less than I remembered. That even though he wasn't in the movie that much, I found his presence to be just enough. Any more screen time and I probably would have been driven crazy. That is the point. He is intense and annoying on purpose, so the fact that he wasn't in the movie more was a smart move by Burton as a director. Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis as the recently deceased couple are the real stars of the movie, along with their teen goth friend Lydia, played by a young Winona Ryder. And actually, now that I think about it, Jeffrey Jones and Catherine O'Hara, who are Lydia's parents, added quite a bit of quirk and charm to the movie as well. I'm sure that it had been done before, but I don't really remember ever seeing a movie before Beetlejuice that is a ghost story, but we see that movie from the perspective of the ghost. The best part is seeing all of the weird effects that Burton and his team came up with to scare the humans. The music, once again by Danny Elfman, and the practical otherworldly effects are my favorite parts of this movie. Beetlejuice took the old Harry Belafonte hit Deo from 1956 and turned it into a hit over 30 years after its release. Not only that, now that song is synonymous with Beetlejuice. There are so many classic looks in this movie, and many have become Halloween staples. Have you been to a Halloween party in recent years where you didn't see someone dressed up as either Lydia or Beetlejuice or one of the Maitlands? And while only a minor part of the film, Beetlejuice was also my first exposure to sandworms. Their look was clearly inspired by Dune and Alien. Now, Beetlejuice is a lot of fun, and Michael Keaton is at his most manic and most hilarious. As fun as all of the characters are, the house where the entire movie takes place is just as much of a character. The eccentric art of Delia Dietz is on display in every room, and as the movie progresses, the house gets crazier and crazier. I miss movies that are around 90 minutes long and so full of life. Before Beetlejuice, there was never really another movie that looked quite like it. Tim Burton has a very distinct and visual art style that he's put into dozens of movies over the years. In the past couple of decades, Burton has been more miss than hit for me personally, but in the 80s and 90s, he was a hit-making machine. Now, I like both Batman and Pee-wee's Big Adventure more than Beetlejuice, but Beetlejuice is still in my top 5 Burton movies. And even though it came out several decades ago, it really hasn't aged today. It still feels fresh. It's a classic that has inspired a Saturday morning cartoon, video games, and even a hit Broadway musical. I don't see Beetlejuice going away anytime soon. And the great thing about Beetlejuice, to make him appear, all you have to do is say his name 3 times. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Modern art, drawing chalk doors, dinner parties, shrunken heads, trying to scare humans, making new friends,